James, the protagonist of the story, travels to Silent Hill after receiving a mysterious letter from his deceased wife who died 3 years ago. In his hopeful journey trying to find Mary alive, he goes through nightmarish places filled with demonic monsters. He also finds a woman identical to his wife who dies over and over again, making him suffer as if this place is trying to break him mentally. Hi folks, I'm R, your narrator. Silent Hill 2's story has been analyzed and theorized about so many times by now, but I'm going to narrate it as if it's the first time you're hearing the story, keeping all the suspense and the plot twists. I truly hope that you will enjoy it. The protagonist, called James, finds himself alone in a restroom, staring at himself in the mirror, unable to control his hand tremors, clearly dealing with some sort of trauma. His wedding ring mark is imprinted on his finger, showing clearly that he just took off his ring, having been faithfully wearing it for the past 3 years, even though his wife was not there with him any longer. His wife, Mary, passed away 3 years ago from a terminal illness, something that James hasn't fully moved on from. The strangest thing happens when James receives a letter 3 years after her death, encouraging him to go to their favorite town, Silent Hill, where he could actually meet her. A letter written by her. Baffled to how this could be possible, as he saw her die on the hospital bed, curiosity and wishfulness pushes him to go there, in hopes of actually finding his deceased wife. It's something that makes him nervous.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place. Waiting for you.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said Mary. My wife's name. It's ridiculous. Couldn't possibly be true. That's what I keep telling myself. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. So then why am I looking for her? Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place. Could Mary really be here? Is she really alive? Waiting for me?
James is in a small town called South Vale, shrouded in fog, having lost his way to Silent Hill. The tunnel to Silent Hill is closed, forcing him to take the rest of the way on foot, being on observation deck, minutes away from Silent Hill. Getting on his way, walking through the town, which seems to be eerily empty, as if being a ghost town, he goes to the cemetery where he finds a girl, warning him of Silent Hill being an unsafe place. A girl who seems more lost than James, looking for her mother and seemingly having lost her father and brother, not even knowing what she's doing there, not making much sense.
I think you should stay away. This town, there's something wrong with it. And it's not just the fog either.
Is it dangerous?
Maybe. It's kind of hard to explain, but
I'll be careful.
I'm not lying.
No, I believe you. It's just... I guess I don't really care if it's dangerous or not. I'm going either way.
But why?
I'm looking for... someone. Someone very important to me.
Me too. I'm looking for my mama. I mean, my mother. It's been so long since I've seen her. I thought my father and brother were here, but I can't find them either.
Finally managing to enter Silent Hill, everything seems dilapidated, as if the town has been completely abandoned for years. It is but a shadow of what it used to look like. Going deeper into the town, the fog gets thicker, with James barely being able to make out what's in front of him, restricting his visibility heavily. Eventually, he comes across a person covered in the fog, wobbling left to right, seeming out of place. Curious yet unsure to approach this person, the thick fog consumes this person as if completely vanishing. Finding his way into a house completely fallen apart, a humanoid entity with his face and body sewn shut rushes towards James, whom he manages to incapacitate by hitting with a plank of wood. Shaken and terrified, that's the only thing he thinks of doing in order to defend himself against this unreasonable, instinctual monster. Despite seeming like a demonic entity straight from hell, James doesn't seem so shocked and surprised, as if he has battled this kind of entity before, at least in his nightmares or worst moments. He loved his wife, Mary, whom he suffered alongside of, being tormented every day when she was sick, battling the monsters in his head, the demons within himself, finding every day challenging. This monster doesn't seem much different than the internal demons that he had to battle before, but this time, they seem to be animated and real. At least this time he can battle and fight them in real life rather than in his own head, which were much more challenging, being completely vulnerable and helpless. In this house, James finds a radio which picks up random transmissions. It seems as if these transmissions are meant for James, someone trying to reach him. Battling some more of the same type of demons, they seem to vomit acid, which makes James burn and get sick. The town seems to be swarmed with these monsters, overtaking the town, making it a place unsuitable for humans. A place that used to be James' wife's favorite place. In a bookstore, he finds an article about researchers wanting to excavate in Silent Hill, as there might be valuable minerals or resources, which never took place as the Silent Hill authorities never approved of it, which made the researchers question the reason, as if they are hiding something. This might explain the oddity of the town and what has come of it. Maybe there was something supernatural beneath the ground, causing it to become as such. Deep into the bowels of this once peaceful town, James finds corpses with fresh blood, as if just having passed away, with strange notes left behind by the people who lived there. It doesn't seem like it was abandoned a while ago, as if people very recently escaped the town and left everything behind, running away from something. James soon encounters Eddie Dombrowski, a terrified man cowering in a rundown bathroom, shaken by what he has experienced and seen so far, even seeing dead people. Eddie, just like James, was drawn and called into Silent Hill. Eddie seems to see different monsters than James, as if they experience a personalized and tailored hell. He desperately wants to leave Silent Hill, but cannot find the strength and courage in himself, asking James to accompany him. But James is determined to find his deceased wife, Mary, despite everything going on. In a twisted way, James believes this town looks to be straight from hell, knowing he might not even be in the real world. But he is driven with the belief, if these surreal entities exist, there must be a place for his deceased wife to live as well, being optimistic that he will find her, given the surreal nature of everything. Exploring a room, James has the first encounter with a large humanoid monster who wears a large pyramid-shaped helmet. This monster will become known as the Pyramid Head. Lucky for James, the Pyramid Head doesn't notice him, as he is distracted assaulting the other monstrous entities. New type of monsters which are feminine, having limbs which are legs only, displaying the physical nature. Not long after, James finds the girl that he met earlier in the cemetery, who introduces herself as Angela. Angela seems severely distressed, holding a knife, feeling guilty for something that she had done.
So all you know is that she lived in this town?
What did you say? How did you know that?
Well, I just figured because this is where you're looking for her. How else would I know?
Yeah. Sorry. Did you find the person that you were looking for?
Not yet. Her name's Mary. She's my wife.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know why I think she's here.
I have to find my mama.
Should I go with you? This town really is dangerous. Now I know what you meant back there in the cemetery.
No, it's okay. Besides, I'd just slow you down.
What about that?
Will you hold it for me?
Sure. No problem.
If I kept it, I'm not sure what I might do. No! I'm sorry! I've been bad! Please don't!
Angela is distrusting towards others and easily triggered, telltale signs of someone who has experienced abuse. Angela is desperately looking for her mother, someone who used to live in Silent Hill. She cannot control her emotions and is clearly having battles in her mind, fighting her demons. When she leaves, not trusting James, yet feeling as if she is the bad person, not wanting to hurt James, not knowing who is to blame, herself or others, if she is overreacting or if she needs to be vigilant and not trust others. He tries to stop her, but Angela doesn't fully understand why, as if she is not seeing any of those monsters, as if the town is displayed in a different way to her. Moving on, going outside, James finds a little girl playing around with an envelope. This happens to be the same girl that he found earlier in a building. Confused to what a little girl is doing in such a hostile and nightmarish town, the girl gets equally confused, telling James what an adult is doing in this town, as if he doesn't belong there. That's when she mentions Mary's name, saying how James never loved her, before running away. This clearly suggests that Silent Hill is presented and seen in different ways according to who is visiting. To the little girl, it might look like a place designed for kids, hence why she was so confused to what an adult like James is doing here. But for James, it happens to be a rendition of a nightmare, manifesting James' nightmares and dark thoughts.
What you got there?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
What? Hey, wait! How do you know her name?
Reading a letter, it appears Silent Hill was a resort with beautiful scenery for tourists to visit and enjoy their time. But now it looks completely different to what it once was. Reaching a pier gazebo, James finds a woman looking strikingly identical to his late wife, Mary, who despite sounding and looking like her, is dressed more provocatively, continuously attempting to seduce James.
Mary? No. You're not.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. Your face, your voice, you could be...
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I? See? Warm.
Sorry, I got confused.
Despite her efforts, James really doesn't want anything to do with her, showing how much he was truly in love with his wife, not wanting anyone else to replace her. Maria seems out of place, not belonging here, and even acting as if she is not in a town infested with nightmarish monsters, yet being aware of their presence. She promises to show a special place where lovers go, a place where James could find Mary, but under the condition that she goes with him. Passing through a gentleman's club, Maria acts very flirtatious and tries to tempt James into drinking whiskey, which he seems to find a challenge not to, yet stopping himself as he knows he has more important things to do in order to look for his wife. A club with running electricity and a bar full of alcoholic beverages seems unlikely, yet something James witnesses in the midst of all the chaos and dilapidation.
Here.
What are you doing?
Something to take the edge off. No? You sure? Fine. Be that way. Here's to hope. Undying.
We should probably get going.
Fine. Ready when you are.
Maria eventually takes James to a garden where James realizes Mary is not here. Not really knowing who could have sent the letter or how any of this is possible, yet feeling like he's chasing a ghost, he gives up. That's when a scream startles both Maria and James, who run towards the source of the sound to see if anyone needs help. Going through a broken window, entering a theater, James sees Eddie talking to the little girl, explaining that the cops are looking for him, not expanding on why. Approaching them, the little girl runs away, with Eddie explaining her name is Laura, acting very strange and not seemingly wanting to leave the town anymore. James then leaves the theater, rejoining with Maria, having a new objective: to find the little girl, Laura, as he is badly concerned about her, as it is a dangerous place in here for a little girl. James manages tracing her to the town's hospital called Brookhaven. Exploring the hospital in order to find Laura, Maria all of a sudden starts getting sick and dizzy, taking a random pill and deciding to lie down and rest on a stained and dirty hospital bed, in a place shrouded in darkness and filled with monsters. Not a great idea, but hey, she needs to lie down. James goes on to explore the place on his own, letting a sleeping Maria stay on her own in a monster-infested place. She will be fine. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. That's when things become more warped and twisted, with the new enemies being nurses in extremely short skirts. James found a picture of a group of nurses earlier with their faces scratched off, which might reference James' psyche and what is going on in his head. Despite James finding Laura a few times, who is busy painting on the walls, as soon as she notices him, she runs away, as if James is the monster for Laura and not the crawling and demonic entities in this place. Going over several letters and notes, it seems as if there was a palliative care unit, meaning they took care of terminal patients who didn't have much time. Despite being such a sensitive field in care, many of the patients were not treated accordingly and carefully, finally cornering Laura She seems afraid of being yelled at, saying James will yell at her if she tells him how she knows Mary. That's when she says that she met Mary in the hospital last year, which makes James call her a liar, just very quickly snapping, which seems out of character of him. Laura manages to lock James in a room, running away from him again, in a room where a monster is occupying. This monster pulls James through the ceiling, taking him to a different floor, where he loses his consciousness, but soon awakens, miraculously being unharmed. While unconscious, a siren can be heard, which leads to the hospital shifting, becoming severely dilapidated and rusty. Maria soon joins James, being anxious and scared that James left her behind, seemingly being all fine now, yet saying some rash things, that James is supposed to protect her rather than caring about his dead wife, which is a very strange thing to say.
All you care about is that dead wife of yours. You couldn't care less about me, could you?
No, I just...
Then stay with me. Don't leave me alone again. You're supposed to take care of me.
Maria looks to be acting like James' specific other or girlfriend, clearly having feelings for him even though they have just met. She acts as if James is supposed to be close to her, intimately and emotionally. Truly a bizarre thing to see, especially knowing the man is looking for his wife. They suddenly get chased by the pyramid head, who seems to be always one step ahead of them. Unfortunately, in this chase, Maria stumbles and gets butchered by the pyramid head, dying a sad and brutal death right in front of James. James, narrowly escaping, witnessing this horror, drops to his knees, barely collecting himself to continue on. Going out of the place, James finds a written note on the wall, directly addressed to him.
If you really want to see Mary, you should just die. But you might be heading to a different place than Mary, James.
This is a taunting message that explains James is headed towards hell, rather than where Mary is, being heaven. It seems as if this entire place is a sentient being, aware of James and who he is, with him being in an interpretation of hell tailored for him. Going to the garden, being nighttime, James sees Angela, who is in her own zone. Sadly, it's clear Angela has PTSD, having severe trauma, questioning the motives of James every time he says something. For example, saying to her that he is happy to see her, that they should get out of here, or trying to touch her in order to comfort her. All these seem to be triggering to Angela, making her relive the trauma, when eventually she cannot help herself but scream and run, being in her own mind and world, consumed by dark thoughts.
Anyway, I'm happy to see you.
Happy to see me?
Alive, I mean.
Oh. Yeah.
Angela?
No. Please. You shouldn't be here.
Angela, it's okay.
No, don't touch me!
Entering the Historical Society building, James quite literally goes deeper down the rabbit hole, where he finds Eddie wielding a gun with a dead guy on a table. At first, he says that he killed him because he was bullying him, but then he changes his story that the guy was already dead when he got there. Eddie doesn't seem to be scared anymore, willing to go out all alone. It all seems as if the world of Silent Hill is seen differently through different people's perspectives. Strangely, James finds images and sculptures of the Pyramid Head all over the place, referring to him as the Judgment or the Executioner. It seems as if the Pyramid Head is the judge and executioner of James, there to torment and punish him. The building is connected to an old prison system, which looks more like dungeons with multiple cells. Going deeper and deeper into the core of Silent Hill, trying to figure out what is happening. He goes into more surreal rabbit holes, witnessing the history of Silent Hill, with buildings and landmarks from decades or centuries ago being all beneath the ground. James comes across a scared Angela again, cowering in a room, seeming as if talking to her father, begging him to stop, while being scared and traumatized, while instead there is a monster lurking in the shadows.
It's me.
No. Please. Daddy!
Through glitched out TV audio, we learn the father was very abusive and manipulative towards Angela, hurting her and then gaslighting her that it's all her fault, hence explaining her fragile mental state. After defeating this monster, which is the manifestation of Angela's father, who would force himself on her, Angela breaks down, explaining her side of story.
Don't even try.
Try what?
Like you don't know. I see what you're doing. It's always the same with you. You're only after one thing.
Angela, please.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead. Say it. Or you could just force me. Like he always did.
This place seems to only call out for broken people, people who have trauma and pain, or people who are drowning in their guilt, wanting to punish themselves. It seems as if James doesn't know it yet. James has his own rabbit hole to explore, finding Maria all well and alive, waiting for him in a prison cell. She claims that she doesn't remember anything about the Pyramid Head and that they simply got separated, gaslighting James that it's all in his head, who has problems with memory. She then goes on talking about a specific memory that he had with Mary, which confuses him whether she is Maria or Mary, or something completely different, as Maria herself explains that she can be anything.
Maria! I thought that thing killed you. Are you hurt?
Not at all, silly.
But the thing... It stabbed you. There was blood everywhere.
Stabbed me? What do you mean?
It chased us to the elevator and then...
James, what are you talking about?
Just before. Don't you remember?
James? Honey? Did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything. But you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So you are Maria.
I am. If you want me to be.
All I want from you is an answer.
Doesn't matter who I am. I am here for you, James. See? I'm real. Don't you want to touch me?
I don't know.
Well, if you happen to make up your mind, I'll be waiting.
It seems as if Maria is there to torment James, trying time after time to seduce him, tempt him, and make him astray from his mission to find Mary. Deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, the place becomes more horrifying, looking nothing like a real place anymore, as if James is stuck in the depths of hell, stuck in his own mind. That's when James, being chased by the pyramid head again, goes into a room where he finds Maria lying dead, being in a bad shape. He cannot help himself but cry and have a breakdown when he comes to his senses that she is not Mary. Blurring the lines and difference between Maria and Mary, thinking to himself that he is losing his mind and getting Maria and Mary confused. He recollects himself, driven to find Mary. This just seems like a punishment this place is burdening him with, to suffer the loss of his wife over and over again. Maria doesn't even seem to be a real person, but an altered representation of Mary, James' wife, there to just torment him. He then suddenly finds himself in a graveyard with 3 freshly dug graves, one for himself, one for Eddie, and another for Angela. It seems as if they are all doomed to stay here and never leave, with their fate and destiny being entangled in this place. Going in a loop of surreal places and rooms, James finds Eddie continuously shooting a corpse, someone he explains that was following him all the time, being revived just to follow him again and torment and taunt him, berating him and bullying him.
What's it look like I'm doing? You fat, disgusting piece of shit, you make me sick! You gonna cry, fat ass? You gonna run to your mama? Waste of skin, why don't you just yourself?
Eddie explains that they are the same, him and James. The town called them both, in a way implying that they have sinned. They have done things that they should be punished for, with the corpse clearly being a tool that this place has manifested to torment Eddie. Eddie has a full-on mental breakdown, being too insecure and traumatized to trust James, attacking him with his gun.
You ain't laughing now, are you?
Help, Eddie.
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too. You and me are the same. We're not like other people, don't you know that? Well, you're about to find out.
He explains that he was severely bullied by someone, even till now, being an adult. In a fit of rage, he kills his bully's dog and has no remorse, enjoying seeing his dog die. The bully attacks him after seeing his dog was shot, which leads to Eddie shooting the bully in the leg as well and running to Silent Hill as cops started looking for him, trying to arrest him.
Do you know what it does to you, James? When you're hated, picked on, spit on, just because of the way you look? Yeah, I ran away after I killed that dog. But you know what? It was fun. It tried to chew its own guts up. Finally died all curled up in a ball. Then he came after me. I shot him too, right in the leg. He cried more than the dog.
James is left with no other choice but to shoot him in defense, leading to Eddie dying. This explains the person that he kept on shooting, the corpse, was the manifestation of his bully who tormented him in this hell, which is tailored to him to specifically punish him. James then goes on across the lake using a boat, going to the Lake View Hotel, a hotel which him and Mary booked 3 years ago in order to have some fleeting happiness in the midst of Mary battling her illness. Finding a letter addressed to him, there seems to be a mysterious videotape that James forgot in the hotel room, something that he wants to recover, which might remind him or help him uncover the secrets of this place. Finding Laura of all places in here, James is not surprised anymore, being familiar with the surreal nature of this place.
So there really is a letter?
Oh. Yeah. Want to read it? Just don't tell Rachel, okay?
Who's Rachel?
She's our nurse. I, took it from her locker.
My dearest Laura, I'm leaving this letter with Rachel to give to you after I'm gone. I'm far away now, in a quiet, beautiful place. Please forgive me for not saying goodbye before I left. Be well, Laura. Don't be too hard on the sisters. And Laura, about James. I know you hate him because you think he isn't nice to me, but please, give him a chance. It's true, he can be a little surly sometimes, and he doesn't laugh much. But underneath, he's a really sweet person. I love you, Laura. I love you like my very own daughter. I wish things were different. I wish we could be happy together, like we talked about. Even so, I know you will have a good life. You're a strong, smart, beautiful girl. Happy 8th birthday, Laura. Your friend, Mary.
Laura. How old are you?
I turned 8 last week.
That means Mary couldn't have died 3 years ago. Could she really be here? Is this the quiet, beautiful place she was talking about?
Me and Mary talked a lot about Silent Hill. She even showed me all her pictures. She really wanted to come back. She also talked a lot about you, you know? She even...
What? What is it?
Well, there kind of was this other letter. I think the one was for you. The envelope had your name on it.
Did you read it?
I wanted to. This one time, I almost did. Figured you didn't deserve to have it. But then I thought, Mary wouldn't want me to keep it from you. So I just sort of kept it for you. Here.
It's empty. Laura, there's nothing in it.
What? But I didn't take it. I swear.
Well, where is it then?
I must have lost it. I gotta find it.
Laura!
Laura gives James the letter, telling him not to tell the palliative nurse who took care of her, who took care of Mary. A letter written by Mary to Laura. After getting the letter, James goes on to find the letter written to him by Mary, actually lighting up that Mary might be really alive, blurring the lines between reality and delusion, questioning himself if Mary even died 3 years ago or not. James finally finds this notorious tape and places it into the VHS player, watching it very carefully.
Are you taping again? Come on. I don't know why, but I just love it here. It's so peaceful. You know what I heard? This whole area used to be a sacred place. I think I can see why. It's too bad we have to leave. Promise you'll take me again, James?
Speechless to what he saw, it all comes crashing down to him, to why he is here, to why he deserves all the punishment.
Hey, there you are. Do you know where Mary is? Come on, talk to me.
Mary's gone. She's dead.
Liar. That's a lie.
No. It's the truth.
She died because she was sick.
I killed her.
Killer? Why'd you do it? I hate you. I want her back. Give her back to me. I knew it. You didn't care about her. I hate you, James. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. She was always waiting for you. Why? Why?
I'm sorry. Mary, you know, isn't here.
James tells Laura the Mary that she knows isn't here, implying that she sees her own version of Mary in this place, as this place manifests thoughts, memories, and nightmares into reality. The place suddenly distorts into the rusty, nightmarish version, being rotten, the way James crumbled into insanity, the place he deserves instead of the beautiful, quiet, silent hill.
James!
Mary?
James! Where are you? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you. Please, come to me.
The voice of Mary can be heard coming from the radio, crying out to James to go to her and help her. Despite knowing it's not real, he goes anyway, trying to plead his case and say sorry for what he had done, trying to atone for his sin, killing the only one and thing in his life that mattered the most to him. A random recording can be suddenly heard, as if from the doctor that was assigned to Mary.
She will not be cured. All that suffering. I am no longer sure if it was of any use. If it meant anything at all. I can't say if this newfound understanding, if there's any wisdom to be had in all that happened. I suppose that's for you to learn.
Having one last encounter with Angela, she is shocked to see James also seeing the fire burning around her all the time. She explains that it is always like that for her. She always burns inside and she cannot be saved anymore. She is already gone. The trauma cannot and will not leave her, hoping that it just ends when the fire engulfs her and she accepts her undeserving fate.
Thank you for helping me earlier. But I wish you hadn't. Even Mama said it. I deserve what happened.
No, Angela, that is not true.
Don't pity me. I'm not worth it. Or maybe you think you can save me? Will you love me? Care for me? Heal all my pain? That's what I thought. James. Give me back the knife.
No, I won't.
Saving it for yourself. Have it your way. It doesn't change anything.
It's hot as hell in here.
You see it too? For me, it's always like this.
Unfortunately, she looked for her mother all along, a shimmer of hope and company. Someone who showed her a little bit of love, but as it turns out, the mother didn't even support her. The mother was also a culprit in her trauma. Moving on, now it is time for James to suffer some more. He sees Maria suspended on a bed with two pyramid head executioners or judges killing her right in front of him. To him, she is Mary now, confusing her with his wife, not being able to tell the difference between Mary or Maria anymore. It is clear now that Maria is the manifestation of Mary, brought here in this nightmare for James to die over and over again, just for James to suffer. Starting to believe that he killed his wife Mary, he believes that it wasn't an easy choice, but a necessary one, as James couldn't see her suffer anymore. And as it is shown, he was faithful to her and didn't seek the company of any other woman for 3 years even after her passing, still believing he is married to her. James truly loved her, and his trauma, just like Angela and Eddie, brought him here.
Leave her alone. Leave us both the hell alone.
I know what you are. I know why I needed you. But it's all over now. I don't need you anymore.
James understands who these executioners are, manifestation of his own pain, acknowledging that it is him who created them. That's when he explains he doesn't need them anymore and that it's all over with them, ending it right there and then. So what that means is that he needed to wield his inner monster, someone soulless, to just take Mary's life away to end her suffering. The Pyramid Head was an executioner killing Maria all the time, there to torment James over and over in the depths of his mind. The tragic and sad last memories and words of Mary replay to James, who is self-destructive, disgusted with herself, as she is drugged all the time and sick, probably not even able to control her bladder and bowels, vomiting all the time, not wanting James to remember her like that. Maybe the monsters there that vomited, looked sickly and crawled, were all manifestations of how James saw Mary in her last moments. It seems the monsters and demons that he battled in his mind, the scariest things he could battle, the sickness and illness of his beloved wife, Mary. Regardless, it seems despite what Mary looked like towards the end of her life, James still saw her as beautiful and truly loved her. That's when he comes across Mary, happy that she is alive and well, even though this contradicts reality that she is really dead.
I have missed you so much.
I've missed you too. We can finally be together. Forever.
No.
James. Honey. What's wrong?
I'm sorry. I know you tried,
James, please.
but she's gone. I know that now.
Stop it.
And I can't just keep pretending.
Shut up! What do you want? Do you even know anymore? I'm yours. I'm here for you. So what if I'm not her? I can give you what she never could. I can be better than her. What else do you want me to be? What else can I be?
I am so sorry, Maria. I really am. But this has to stop. It's time to let it go.
No.
What?
I won't let you do this to me. I won't let you go. I can't!
Maria, being identical and even a more playful and flirtatious version of Mary, can never replace her and take her place. She explains how she will be Mary and even more for James. But for James, there's only one Mary and no one can replace her. Maria all of a sudden reveals her true nature, being a monster. She explains she cannot let go of James, someone whom she would be able to show a vision of good life to, while in reality, they would be rotting in the rusty and abandoned otherworld of Silent Hill. After killing this monstrous being, different endings can be unlocked. In an ending where a dying Mary hooked up to oxygen tanks is lying on the deathbed, it seems to be a closure where James has a one last conversation with her to say what he needed to say and to be honest, something he never got to tell her.
told you. I wanted the pain to end.
Yeah. You did. But that's not why I did it. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
If that's true, then why do you look so sad?
Mary.
It's okay, James. Here.
Despite James saying he hated her and wanted to have a life, if you had the unfortunate experience of having a loved one get bedridden, having their last months alive, you would understand how difficult something like this could be. Despite hearing many theories and stories by others, with many claiming James actually was the villain who killed her in cold blood, it is quite the opposite. James truly loved her. He loved her so much that he suffered just as much as she did. Battling terminal illness, unlike sudden death, is the worst battle anyone can have, including their loved ones. It takes away from someone physically and mentally. It reduces them to angry, hostile beings that they never thought they would become. The sad reality is, the loved ones who are to pass away will go on and leave their loved ones behind, who will be the ones who have to live with their memory, that they lost such people that they cared about so much. The ones who love them will live on suffering, having to learn to live again and move on, having to live this life without them. James saying that he hated her only spoke through anger, on how he imagined a long life with her, feeling betrayed and hate for Mary being taken away from him. Yet so many other things going on in his mind that he will still have to live the life alone, without her, which made him break and become cruel. He was so broken that Mary even told him and made him promise to live on and not just simply give up on life. An ending that we can also see and achieve, which shows how much James actually loved her, that he couldn't see living the life without her. Mary gives him a letter as a goodbye, detailing how she felt, what she couldn't bring out in words and express verbally, rather than thinking writing it would let her express herself better.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you to come and see me. But you never do. So, I wait. Wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know, I've done a terrible thing to you. I wish I could change that, but I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it is. The doctor came today. Told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this could be my last chance. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I missed you so much. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Every time you come to see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me. Maybe I just disgust you. I'm so sorry. When I first learned I was gonna die, I couldn't accept it. I was so angry. I struck out at everyone I loved. Especially you. And that's why I understand if you hate me. But I want you to know, I will always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. Which means that as you're reading this, I'm already dead. But that's okay. I'm not afraid of it anymore. I just hope the pain will end soon, so that you remember me for who I was, and not what the disease made me. I want you to go on. I want you to live. For yourself, and for others. Like you did for me. James, you made me happy.
It's unclear if James actually killed Mary by smothering her with a pillow, as in the letter, Mary is saying goodbye to James, not going home from her palliative care stay. It seems as if Mary's death was not directly under the hands of James, hence why he doesn't remember it. But instead, it's a representation of how his indifference, his coldness, leaving Mary alone in the hospital and not showing her love, killed her. She explains how she asked the nurse to give the letter to James after she has gone, saying how she is already dead by the time James reads it, which means she possibly had her life ended, being euthanized or something else, not by James but by her own, as she felt that she is a burden to James. Otherwise, if James killed her, it wouldn't be possible for her to write this letter and just pass it to a nurse to pass it to James after she is dead. James saw his own creation of hell in here, that he killed Mary, feeling guilty and pain for the hate and resentment that he had at the last moments of her life. Silent Hill was not a place to punish people or a tailored hell, but instead, it was a place that manifested people's fear, pain, trauma, hate, resentment, thoughts, and nightmares. Angela wasn't being tormented because she was guilty or a bad person. Her nightmares and trauma was simply manifested into reality. That is the same with Eddie, who had to relive his pain being bullied, leading to him breaking down and shooting the bully who was manifested. Maria seems to have been an ideal version of Mary in James' head, having these fantasies and desires that Mary would look and act like that, being playful and full of energy, uncontrolled thoughts when she was bedridden. Maria transformed into a clingy and possessive monster, a clingy thought that didn't want to leave James alone. James constantly blamed and punished himself, creating the executioners to kill Maria over and over again just to make himself suffer, losing his wife over and over again, which is the worst pain that he could ever feel. In this ending, James reunites with Laura and they go on to be in Silent Hill. This does seem a little strange, as if James is already dead and actually not alive anymore, especially having a one-to-one with his dead wife on her bed. It all seems James' entire adventure was symbolic. There are of course many more symbolisms in the game, all relating to James' trauma and guilt, which I will possibly go over in another video. There are also several other endings which I plan to go over. Either way folks, I'm ending the video here because otherwise it would be much longer. And I'm already seeing stars after staring at the screen for so long writing the script and editing it. Stay tuned as I'm planning to make more videos about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Thanks for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Have a fantastic day.